Hi, I'm Chemda.
I'm Carrie.
And we're Gilmore Friends.
We're Gilmore Friends.
No, it's too late. Listen, guys, we tried to do and we're Gilmore Friends together, but we'll get it together maybe in the next episode. We're on season 1, episode 15. Can you guess what this episode is called?
Horrible Dinner.
I love you. It's Christopher Returns.
Oh, I mean, I would have guessed that, honestly.
No,
like, if I wasn't trying to be like,
yeah.
Okay. Well, see, that would be a major spoiler if I had looked down the list.
Yes.
I'm so glad that we were hiding the episode names from me.
Yeah. So as we know, this is Carrie's first time. This is my billionth time. And we're going to review. And I just want you all to know that at the end of every watch that we watch together right before we record this episode, Carrie looks so annoyed. She's yelling at the screen sometimes. She's into it. And then she makes this face like, why did you do that to me? And I love and hate it because part of me is like, oh no, she hates it. And the other part is, yeah, feel it, Carrie. Feel what we've been feeling.
Feel the pain.
Christopher returns. Yeah, you make that face. And for those who love Christopher, oh, he gets on my nerves. Oh my God, the whole time I want to, and I don't always feel that way about people in general, but he makes me so angry. So let's get into how Carrie feels about this because maybe she loves him. I don't know. All right. It opens up.
They're at home.
Now, we already know from the last episode, Chris is in town and the girls
that was the cliffhanger in real time, I had to wait a week to watch this, which is, again, the worst part about doing this podcast. But
yeah.
So he shows up in the last 5 minutes of the last episode, cliffhanger. Boo. We start off, get right into it.
They're getting him ready because they're getting the couch ready and he's apparently in the shower. So how are you feeling in just this opening scene? Rory, let me just set it. Rory is obviously very excited. Maybe he'll stay a while this time. Lorelai always comes back she literally says, I wrote it down, he's going to come and go as he pleases, babe. You know that. And I feel like obviously that's telling us like, look, this guy.
They've been through this, but he's never visited Stars Hollow.
That's right.
So he's visited because they presumably lived in a different town. And
they grew up together, so they grew up in Connecticut.
But where was he for when, like, Rory was like
California?
6? Where was Rory living when she was 6?
I believe she was in Stars Hollow, but somewhere else, not in that house.
Gotcha.
But he's never been in Stars Hollow at all.
Okay.
And he comes out of the shower complaining about the
water pressure.
Which at first I was like, you don't complain about anything when you're somebody's guest. But then he, quote, makes it right by saying, I'll fix that. And I'm like, I bet you won't, Christopher. I bet you won't. You just want to say manly shit.
Right. You got a pipe wrench, so I'm going to fix your shower. Luke could fix it.
Girl.
But Luke has to shower there first to see what's wrong.
Ooh.
Luke shows up with bags of ice. And Christopher shows up complaining about your water pressure. Just saying.
I will high five you right now.
But she's sweetly like making the bed, couch.
And we're slowly feeling bad for her. You know, that daughter that waits by the window for dad, you know, the kid who always expects the parent to do. This all happens
before the opening credits. But they mentioned during this scene that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is a softball game. And I said, so that means that it's Friday night, tonight, when she's making up the bed.
Yeah.
So why aren't they at dinner?
I am so upset about this because I think they didn't think about that, and you did, and I never put that together. But they did say tomorrow, Saturday morning, is the softball game. So yeah, they should have been at Grandma's house. So
that's right.
It didn't. Yeah. And then
do I get points for my plot hole?
You do. Although it's like points taken away from my heart. So have them if you want.
So then, because I wrote down no Friday dinner. Then Saturday morning arrives.
Wait. But before that, there's so much of a scene set here because Christopher's like, listen, I'm on the verge of success. You know, he says it's for real this time. Those are actually his words. Then he says, why does your dad have more faith in me than you, to Lorelai? Because Lorelai's like, again, yeah, sure. And look, I was taught that like potential is kind of what you're looking for, because my parents got married young, and my mother could see, you know, how hungry my dad was, how motivated he was. And my dad could see, you know, how feminine she was and how she can clean very well. You know, they had a very old school, very traditional marriage. And he did, he just kept going up, kept moving up in his career, kept building his business bigger. He moved from Iran to Israel to the United States, and in each place, like, got more and more financially stable. He did what he was supposed to do as a partnership that they set together. But a lot of people don't, and you're supposed to kind of negotiate yourself. You're not supposed to, but I feel like we were taught to say, oh, well, he will do that better. It will get better. I see the potential in him. And I think Lorelai going like, whatever, Chris, I've known you since you were 6. You're the guy who crashed your Porsche 2 weeks after your parents gave that to you. And he says, well, you were the one right next to me. And she goes, I was horrified. And he goes, try again. She's like, yeah, it was fun, but then I was horrified. So you see their dynamic. I think they turn into children when they're around each other, as we do, I think,
right.
You know? And I think that's part of what she likes about him is he knows her. Like, you're never going to be able to know her like that, because you're never going to see her as a 6-year-old. You're never going to be able to drive your first Porsche and crash it with her. What the hell? We're also very, very informed on the privilege that they both had, reminding us they're from Connecticut, reminding us they're from millionaires. And then he says, I haven't been enough around for Rory's life to be a pal. And they've used the word pal in this episode a couple of times.
So creepy.
I hate it.
You're not my pal.
You're not my pal. I don't want you to be my pal, you know. And then he walks away and she's like, Christopher, he says, yes, dear. And I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, like, the liberties.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah, the ownership, the liberties, the chutzpah to say yes, dear.
And this goes into my theory about this relationship, which I know I've experienced. He is her drug. I really, really, really believe that the same addiction you can have to drugs, alcohol, sex, opiates, like all of this stuff you can have towards human beings. You can have towards romantic relationships. You can have towards your childhood. Like, you have this addiction. She responds to him like he's cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. She hasn't had a fix in a while, but she knows she should stay away. But like, she remembers how much fun it used to be, but that she's a different person now. Maybe
this time it'll work, you know, because you, like, as an addict, I believe, with what I know about addiction, you're always chasing that high. You're always like, nothing's as good as when you first started. Nothing's as good as your first one, no matter what it is. So
whatever. I know.
This is the chase that she goes through. And she's such a good actress. Just everything with her face, her tone changes right. I mean, it's just, and I want to punch him in the face. So I guess he's a good actor too, except, okay.
I mean,
okay.
We don't have him long enough to know if he's a good actor, frankly. But
right, okay. Maybe that's him. But we'll know. We'll know.
So, okay. Yeah, like, but they have a good rapport. Like, they don't hate each other. This is what I established in this shot is
you don't think that she is like, you again. I
think, yeah.
Like you have with an addiction, you're like, oh, I like you so much. I want you right up my nose.
Well, they're not doing the thing where they hate each other for Rory's sake, I think. I think if Rory was not in the picture, they wouldn't have to be nice to each other. But like, I think she's not going to like be like, get the hell out of here because this is Rory's father. You know? So she is not necessarily speaking her mind in this moment because she's keeping the peace and they don't hate each other, but it's too weird. It's too
But
awkward.
he's a disappointment, obviously.
Yeah.
He's to her, so she doesn't really like him. Like the addiction. Do you really like alcohol after years and years of it waking you up, in a certain way, giving you a headache, a stomach ache, you're throwing up, diarrhea, whatever, and then you're chasing it again, then you're disappointed with your own self. Like, it's an addiction, and he's an addiction. So anything that you see that she likes about him, I believe, is just her going like, maybe this time it'll feel good.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my whole.
Okay. That's you got all of that from this first scene, huh? Yeah.
Love you.
Not multiple watchings? Really?
No, but come on. Even just this episode is a lot of Chris is a letdown. Even if we only, this episode
Chris
alone.
The first thing he said was take it off.
Take off your shirt.
Take off your shirt.
You're
which
so
is like,
cute. You're in your 30s, right?
Right. You're 32. You're shouting. Who does that?
Next to her daughter, your daughter.
Next to your daughter, you're shouting to, take off your shirt. Shut up.
He didn't do any redeeming thing. So I don't see how else I would have this opinion.
No. And he's charming, and he wants to be a pal to his teenage daughter, which is just, that means that Lorelai is going to have 2 children instead of 1. And that's annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can go to the baseball game.
Now we're at the baseball game.
Yes. On Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. But at least they didn't go to dinner last night. So everyone's well rested. And
she got her homework done.
Because she's a little dork.
And when they walk into the baseball field, this is very cute. And I only clocked it this time. She did say, hey, that's Dean, right? But she also says that's Luke, because Luke is important to her. And there were other people from the town around her, but she specifically says that's Luke and that's Dean. Because, so I think that's very telling. I think that, that was for us a little bit. I thought that was sweet too.
Yeah.
And then you had the heckler.
Dean is getting heckled, which is, I guess, for comedic relief or whatever.
Yeah. Dean and Luke are getting heckled because the score is 0-0. They're not that great at it. And they basically play until they just get tired. And then they say, okay, next person who gets a run, that's it.
Yeah. Have you ever played softball?
Probably, in gym and stuff.
Not as an adult.
No. Mm-mm. Kickball maybe as an adult one time, but we were in our 30s and someone got hurt after like 1 round.
Yeah. I used to play like this annual comedians softball game in Prospect Park. So much fun. But like anything that you do for fun, half the people are so good at it and half the people are so bad at it. And I'm in the camp of so bad at it and I'm just here to have fun. And nobody was a jerk. Like everyone's very supportive. Cool. But if you are really bad at it and just there to have fun, it can be excruciatingly boring. Because you're not really invested in the game and you don't really, and like you're watching like another team play, so they'll clear the field so you can get on and you're just sort of sitting around and you're like, it was a lot of sitting around. Anyway,
that's the thing. I don't know how to do any competitive anything, game, sports without talking a lot of crap. And because no matter how boring it is, I'll probably get into it by like making a stink
getting
about
into
everything.
it.
Yeah, by getting into any aspect of it.
Every sport is way more fun when you get into it. Of course. Just
even
rooting
poker,
and
like
screaming poker.
Smack.
Oh my God. If we didn't have smack talk, how boring would poker be? Half the fun is coming up with new insults for your brother. And don't tell him I said that. He'll think I enjoy his company. Like, we can't have that. But
you guys are like from the Muppets. You guys are like, in the Muppets, they have the theater critics.
Waldorf and...
is that their name?
Statler. Waldorf and Statler.
I love that you know that. And I
Yeah.
love that that's their names. And I believe that, Trading Places, I believe those two guys were
Yes,
based on
they were
that.
based on them. That's true.
You guys,
yes.
we are layered in our pop culture.
It's
We
true.
are
It's
Gilmore
true.
Friends. This is
Okay.
crazy.
All
okay.
right, wait. So back to the softball game. So they're getting heckled, but it's just to set up that it's just a good-natured, fun little cult town where they play softball and it's all in fun. And then Dean does a great job of meeting the dad. He's like, they talk motorcycles for 2 seconds.
Here's what's interesting. Christopher talks about his bike, and then Dean says, "Oh, I have this bike." So it's very much like, "Oh, look, like, Rory's going for somebody like her dad." I understand that was for us.
Oh, yeah, we set up a parallel.
But also, when Lorelai was talking to Dean in that first date that she invited herself to, or invited Dean to, however that is, when they were sitting on the floor and she was like, the whole town is looking at you and you better not hurt Rory's feelings. And she said, and what Lorelai said is, and she's not getting on your bike. And Dean goes, I don't have a bike. Lorelai says, she's not getting on your bike. Dean says, I don't have a bike. She repeats it and he goes, okay. Here we find out, did he buy a bike since?
No, he's always had an 86 Suzuki.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so he lied to Lorelai,
I think he got a bike, or like the writers decided he had a bike to make that parallel, but it's another,
Or maybe it's his dad's bike or something. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
But no, motorcycles are super dangerous. It's one of the ways to donate organs is to get a motorcycle.
Shout out to my brother Michael. I hated when he had a motorcycle. Hated it. Then it got stolen and I was secretly very pleased.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know people who have motorcycles, they love it. And there's something very thrilling about it. I hate it. I hated being on it anytime. I don't like it. I decided I'm not going to.
I love being on it, but I also think like, oh, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like every time I get on the back of a motorcycle, and I've driven a motorcycle. I've been behind the wheel, behind the handlebar of a motorcycle.
One? Not a moped or something.
No, like it was a smaller one, but yes, I have driven a motorcycle.
Wow.
And like, but it was before I had a sense of death because I was a child, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
now that I'm an adult and I fear death, and crave it at the same time, it's complicated. But every time I get on the back of a motorcycle, I'm like, oh yeah, this could be that. This is the one. Like,
I decided years and years ago, I'm never getting on a motorcycle again.
Oh,
no, I'm
even
just
if
not.
I had one,
even if you had one.
If I had one, and I was like, hey, baby.
Oh, you didn't say babe. Oh, well, of course now. Yes.
I can't sweet talk you on the back of my motorcycle.
Maybe. No, not even if my boyfriend, my partner, my husband, my wife, my anything, nothing, no partners, no mother, father, brother, kid. No, I'm not getting on anybody's motorcycle. Never.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, well, you sound very sure of yourself, and it's in my nature to come up with a scenario where you would, but we're going to skip that because we got stuff to talk about.
We can always get back to that.
I'd be like, your mother's dying wish. No, we're skipping.
Carrie,
we're skipping it. All right.
So here's another thing before we get away from the baseball game, because that was a very short scene, but I thought it was very 20-something years ago that the joke was, hey, Luke, does your husband play softball too?
And that's what got Luke to chase him, was like...
Because, what are you calling me? A girl or a gay? Because
don't imply that I'm effeminate in any way.
I play baseball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Softball.
Yeah,
the gayer cousin of baseball.
Sure, I mean the lesbian cousin
is softball.
Yeah, but yeah, it was so in our life. All the gay jokes, all the femi jokes, all the "you're not a man" joke, and I always have thought about it from the female perspective of like, hey, we're being put down. Like it's not fun or good to be a woman, but. I started thinking about it from their point of view. Like, you couldn't just be yourself as a dude or like, you just got things put upon you that, like, it's not that I don't want to be a girl. I'm not, it's just that I can't act a certain way because I'm not a man anymore, or I'm not me anymore. I'm such a great person is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I understand all perspectives now.
That's right. I mean, now the insult is to call someone a straight white man.
Yeah.
Which I love. Be like, come on, you're acting like a straight white man. Get out of here.
Right. Now, Karen is like the next, Yeah. So
children today don't know that Karen is a name of a person.
Aww.
Like, it would be like 6-year-olds have only ever heard the term Karen as an insult.
And there's so many people named Karen. Like,
I have an aunt, Karen, and she's wonderful. She's truly a lovely person. And and I'm like, God, all of these people named Karen are now Karens.
Yeah. Shout out to Karen from the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. She is the sweetest, most darling woman you have ever met.
Yeah.
You know what? She's one of those women that can call me sweetheart. And I'm like, yeah.
But not me. Could you get on her motorcycle?
Oh.
I would only get on the motorcycle of a Karen because they've had it rough these last couple of years.
Yeah, actual real named Karens.
The real people named Karen have had it rough. I think of a certain age, maybe over a certain age, you don't hear it, Yeah. But like anyone our age named Karen is having a rough time of it, I think. Mm-hmm. Can we get to the inn?
Yes.
Where we see for the first time, and you know that I wrote it down, that Michael is laughing. Michel is laughing. And this is the first time we've seen this.
Sookie and Michel are giggling with each other. Yep. Like like losing their minds, contagious laughter style.
Yeah.
And Lorelai walks in on it and ruins everything.
That's right, because she's the grumpy boss. But I'm very happy to see mirth coming from Michel. They finally heard me. They softened him up just a minute. He does have a secret life where he's not all snark and crap. But it's with Sookie, which is awesome because she's fun.
And this is so corny, but I genuinely enjoyed the way they were fake laughing. I thought it was so cute because it was actual giggles. I'm like, wow, you really can do that. It's like crying on command. You're doing it so great.
Yeah, I thought it sounded fake laughy.
Really? So there was a while I was going to a bunch of like very indie plays and even play readings, and it would be from like the same kind of company. Jack McCarthy would write all these plays, and I'd be so into them. They're the ones who wrote Genderfuck and a couple others. Anyway, so I would go to their readings. I would go to anything they put on, and they're like, oh, good, Chemda's here. She's a great audience. Because I would gasp where you needed to gasp, and I would laugh where you needed to laugh. Because
it was like the melodrama. Yeah.
Because I would get so into it that it was just, and I thought I was being annoying because you just always heard me laugh. And I was like, oh, it's not that I want attention. It's that I'm so into the writing, the acting, the directing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here that I was just their thing. So I appreciate that they saw it in a good way, because I thought, it could like, what is she doing? Try to steal the spotlight? You could just hear me.
No, it's good because you want the good laugher and the good reactor because you're cueing the rest of the audience.
Well, I'm not.
Like I'm not an easy laugh for an audience member. I have friends who do shows. I'm like, I got to sit in the back or I'm going to freak you out.
Yeah, you're very straight-faced. Yeah.
If I sit in the front, I'm going to have to fake laugh to not throw you. And then it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Like you want a real laugh out of me. Like I can't fake it. So like,
you should sit in the back. Yeah. I mean, I always tell my friends or my boyfriend or whoever, anyone who knows me for real in real life, please sit in the back.
Yeah.
I can't be this person on stage and look at my life so clearly. Like that's not who I am when I look at you. So I don't want to look at you.
Yeah. I need people I know in the back. Off you go. Off you go. Yeah.
In the darkness.
Yeah, bye. Because a lot of my friends have heard my jokes 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Do people know that comedians don't do a new set 100? Right.
Yeah.
You practice a couple of times. Yeah. So they're like heard it. I'm like, get in the back. Get in the back.
Yeah. There was this one play that I was in. It was I was playing a gypsy stripper.
A play.
Roma, excuse me.
Playing a gypsy stripper.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't stripping or anything, but I had to put on this like maid costume for one of the numbers, And if I saw you and I'm being some sexy version of me, I will just die if I look at your face. But if I look at random people's face, I'm like, yeah, that's
my face will just be like drool coming out of it, and
like, I knew it,
and
sweetheart.
I'm all sweaty, and I'm like, do it. And also, you are the current sexy version of you. I heard it, and I'm correcting you. Okay,
Ooh.
Then we leave the inn. Oh,
well,
Lorelai,
no,
before we do, I know I'm speeding ahead because I feel like we're talking about you stripping too much. Like always. Before we leave the inn, we have to fill in Sookie with what Chris is doing. Now, we are to understand Sookie has never met Chris, right?
Right. Well, he's never been to Stars Hollow, and she's probably never been out.
She and Lorelai met in Stars Hollow, right? Okay, That's what I thought. So she's like, how's he doing? Blah, blah, blah. And Lorelai's like, I don't know. And there's something there. And I'm like, don't let there be anything there, Lorelai, you idiot.
Hey, you always want to go back.
You want your drug.
So the thing is even Lorelai says, I haven't seen him since Christmas. She's wondering. And I think that with this conversation, we're supposed to know that time has passed. He's been in our house a few days. And she says that Lorelai, the way she feels about Christopher, she goes, should I be mad? And then he smiles and it's Christopher. See?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The lines come out. My nose gets ready. All of my bad girl moments happened with him, says Lorelai.
Yeah.
So now you feel like that young version of your rebel self, and he brings that out. And I could see why she would want to go back. And they keep referencing Chris being a pal. And it's just
so gross.
Yeah. This is what, anonymous meetings are made of.
Yeah. This is my friend. This is my only friend. Yeah. It's, I felt really bad for Lorelai in this scene because I was like, it just feels gross. It feels like she's being taken in, and I don't trust this person yet. He hasn't been on screen yet.
Except for take your shirt off.
And I'm going to fix your shower head.
Yeah, that happened.
And I want to spend more time with Rory because I'm like a better person now.
Yeah, what a great theory. Do it or don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
Show don't tell, bro.
Yeah, it's your actions. Your words are meaningless at this point. So now we can go to them walking around town. Rory is showing Christopher Stars Hollow. And with that, Carrie is learning about Stars Hollow. What did you learn?
First they run into Miss Patty.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss Patty is high as a kite. Miss Patty is on ecstasy. She's tripping. She's on MDMA. I don't know what she's on. But she's like, everyone in this town is Rory's mother, which means that you and I are married. So weird. Rory's like, thanks. And then Miss Patty takes out her flip phone and calls everybody in town. Mm-hmm. So that by the time they cross the street, everyone in town knows. Now, not only does everyone in town know, which is one thing for a small town, absolutely no one in town has any chill.
No.
Nobody can pretend to meet Chris for the first time without saying something that they've already heard about him. Not a single person says, oh, nice to meet you, Rory's dad. You're Chris. My name is Jackson. No. People start having conversations about his appearance in front of him. So awkward. Why is this town so messed up? It's the worst town. I don't know. Not even small town news spreads. Okay, that's fine. That's funny. We get that. But no one can just be chill.
No, I think that's the whole thing. It's like the whole town is somebody coming to your mother's house. You know what I mean? Oh, eat something. Oh, you look like this. You look like that. Oh, have you done this in a while? It's like they already know you because you're Rory's dad. And if you're Rory's dad, like Miss Patty said, everyone here is her mother. And that makes us a couple. A couple of what? I don't know.
She's drunk.
No, she's just her. She's a sexed up goddess.
I mean, we
queen.
didn't meet Babette. I think we can't do Babette and Miss Patty in the same episode too much because they're both just these like wackadoo, like out of their mind. But Patty's way more fun about it. Miss Patty's way more fun about it. Anyway, we end up in a bookstore. And big pal dad is like, pick out any book and I'll buy it for you.
And we know that his business is doing well. So he's trying to get in by buying Rory's love, which, you know what? Okay. He knows she likes books. Get her a book. Hey, start there. That's fine. What does she want? Her dream book?
The OED. The Oxford English Dictionary. The compact edition. I had the actual one growing up.
Of course you did. I'm not surprised. You are Rory. I am Lane. Just everybody just hold that. And so that's just no, you just know.
It came in 2 enormous volumes. I mean, the book was as big as my monitor, which you can't see.
And it's called compact.
No. I had the non-compact, the full. And it had a little tiny drawer that had a magnifying glass in it.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
the print was that small. The print was so small that when you looked up a word, you needed a magnifying glass to go through it.
Do you see what we had to go through?
Yeah.
To look up a word.
But it's every word ever spoken, ever. And then its origin and but yeah, so she wants the compact version, which is 1 volume. Ugh, whatever.
Which is still huge.
It's still huge. It's hilariously huge. It's the book that she has. Have you seen the movie Say Anything?
Yes. I'm rolling my eyes at that. There, I said it.
So she highlights that's the OED.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have so many annoyed words to say about that movie, but maybe we'll do movies after this series.
Yeah, we can't.
Words.
Yeah.
I have words. Okay. So he says, she goes, oh, you don't have to get that. It's, it costs $1 million. He says, I have a lot to make up for. She says, no, you don't. And I always feel for parents at that moment where if you're a single parent and you parented the hell out of this kid and they're always like, but I want an extra this one, or, oh, you didn't meet my this thing, or, but the parent that's never around, oh, you don't have to make up for anything. It's gotta hurt a little bit to hear stuff like that,
Yep.
Yeah.
Or it's got to sting where like you have been saving up to get Rory the OED for Christmas or her birthday or something. And then this guy just swoops into town and he's like, let me get you a book, like that must sting.
Yeah. And just that she thinks that he has nothing to make up for. I don't know, but she's a good kid and she doesn't think her mom has something to make up for also. So it's kind of like, whatever.
No, she's a really good.
Homeboy's card gets rejected.
So this is a thing in screenwriting that if you want something to be financially wrong with a character, you decline their credit card. I've seen this in TVs and movies all the time. I'm sorry, ma'am, your card isn't working. And then that is the beginning of the end, right?
But has that ever happened to you? Because it has happened to me. And
have my card declined?
Yeah, my face turned red. I'm sure it didn't for you. You are the most organized person I've ever met. But have you always been like that?
I don't think I've had a credit card declined.
Mine has. It is exactly how embarrassing you think it would be, and then times that by 10.
But was it because you didn't have enough money in your account, or was it?
Yeah.
Oh. I think mine declined because it wasn't like part of the network. Like the network was down or something.
There was, I've had incidents like that where I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm like, run it again. I know I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they run it again. They're like, oh yeah, the internet's down. And I'm like, boom.
See, like you had nice moments. I had like, no, don't run it. No. I had Christopher moments where I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'll take it.
Were you buying it for your long lost teenage daughter?
No, I wouldn't
who was your
do
pal?
that. No, but I didn't have children probably for that reason.
I mean, it's got to be devastating, especially if you so this shows a couple things. One, that he's not as financially successful as he's pretending to be. Two, that he's not organized enough to know that his credit card would be declined, because if you're on top of it,
right, even
if you have no money, not to use that card, to get cash, not to pretend to go buy something.
So he's beyond because he's actually walking in going, hey, I'm different. Like my business is doing so great. So when my card was getting declined, I wasn't like, but I'm doing so great. No, I am messing up left, right, and center, and this is what I get. Like I knew I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would be like, I got this, everyone.
Exactly. You didn't make a big show about like, oh, dinner's on me. Oh, ma'am, your card is declined. Be like, what? Like, you know that, like, right. So you're organized enough to know that you're financially.
Well, thank you.
Right. I'm saying. So like this dude doesn't even have that. Not only is he bad with money, he's bad with even tracking that he's bad with money.
And on top of that, Christopher says to Rory, don't tell your mom about this, okay?
Don't tell your mom. You got super stink face. Look at that mean face. I did too. I was like, don't tell me what to tell my mother. You walk in after months.
And we just listed things about you, Christopher, where you suck. And on top of that, you're going to tell the person who actually did raise your kid? You're going to tell the kid to lie to her? You are so disrespectful. You're a liar head about everything. You're just.
And then, okay, so the card gets declined.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I said this out loud, but I was like, yep, scammer. Because
yes, you did.
I did. Because I thought he seemed like a scammer when he was telling her in the opening scene, like, my business is doing great. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I hate it when guys give that little, like, speech, especially in TV and movies, when guys are like, my business is doing really great. I've really turned my life around. I want to pick back up. You're like, that. It just sounds so inauthentic and gross.
Yeah, I guess because the people who do it don't have to convince you of it.
Right.
And I need to think about that more.
Right.
You know, that
rich people
should have been my thought.
Rich people don't walk around telling you how rich they are.
Right.
It's just not, it's just, they show don't tell. You know, you'll see it when they buy dinner. You'll see it when they have a nice car or watch or shoes or whatever, you know? Yeah. So you don't have to be like, I'm so rich right now. Let me pay with this credit card. Oh, it's declined. Don't tell your mom. And I was
don't you even have a credit card that has some space on it? Like, that's how messed up you are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Where's your backup card, Mr. Financially Responsible?
Yeah.
So
Christopher. Okay.
Don't tell your mom. And I'm like, oh, this dude's a scammer. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't want him back in town. I don't want him anywhere near my sweet Lorelai. I mean, my sweet Rory. Lorelai's not sweet. Rory's. I don't want him near my Rory. Get away.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the diner.
Yes. And here's where Luke is prying and being curious and wants to know and is pretending to be cool. There was a guy with Rory at the baseball thing. Who could that be? You know who that is. You're in town also. It already got to you.
Yep.
You want to know because you're into her.
You want to hear how she says it. If she goes, ugh, that's Christopher. Or if she goes, that's Rory's dad. Or if she goes, that's Chris. You know, like you're trying to gauge her reaction. And she says, it's Rory's father. So she sticks to the facts. She doesn't give anything away.
And I don't like that Emily Gilmore calls Christopher directly the man who's not in touch with me as the mother of his kid. Why are you guys in touch? Be in touch with your kid. Anyway, Emily calls Christopher while they're at Luke's diner, and she's so happy. And Christopher gives Lorelai the phone, and Emily goes, Christopher's in town. Well, knock me over.
Yeah. She's like, what? It's great.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then she invites them to dinner with Christopher's parents. We're calling him Christopher.
Fritzes.
I like the Schnickel Fritzes. We're calling him Christopher, not Chris. Does he go by both?
I think every once in a while I hear Chris, but mostly I hear Christopher.
Okay.
So mostly he's called
Well, then I'm going to call him Chris to disrespect him.
You know what? Yes. I'm in. I'm with you.
I have a friend named Douglas, not Doug. Douglas.
That's
he
right.
Does not go by Doug. And so I'm like, yes, I will remember that and respect your choice.
My brother's name, Michael. He does not go by Mike.
Not Mike.
It's specifically Michael.
Right.
So we call him Michael. But Chris, that's you now.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
That's you. That's
so.
me. So Straub and Francine are invited, and it'll be a wonderful reunion, says Emily Gilmore.
Their names
and
are
I just want to ring
Strobe.
her. I know.
Straub and Francine Hayden. My name's Strobe. Is that a name? Did the writers make that up, or is that a name?
I bet that's a name.
I've never heard of that name. I've never met anyone named Strobe. I've never heard of that.
But they only have uppity names for their friends. It's so, I forget the names now, but there's only names that's really a name. And my name is Chemda. So whenever I talk about other people's names, I'm always very aware that it's like, no matter how weird their name is, I know how unusual mine is, but your name is Strobe. So.
I mean, I'd rather be named Chemda than Strobe. I'll say it.
Aw.
Especially now that I know you and I have good associations with that name. If we have a falling out, I'll be like, don't call me Chemda, you know?
Yeah.
But
Chemda.
Chemda. Don't call me Strobe. Strobe. I'm going to look that up when we get off. I have my phone off now, but I will look that up later. Why is Strobe a name? Anyway, are we there yet? Are we at this frickin' dinner?
We are, and it is a doozy. This is a dinner with Rory's both grandparents. She never met one of the grandparents.
Quick aside, we've jumped now a week.
Yes.
Or 6 days, because the softball game was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They presumably did the awkward walk around the neighborhood book thing happened Saturday. Now we're 6 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? We agree? This is
agree.
The timeline? So in those 6 days, Luke never reminded Lorelai about painting.
I guess not, but is it up to him to remind her?
No, but you might say, like, what time are you going to come? Like, it might come up that you have a plan with someone.
Yes.
Anyway, just throwing that out there for later in a minute.
Yeah. So, of course, Lorelai and Chris were standing outside of the grandparents' door just taking in their trauma. And then they come in, and Emily and Richard are so happy to see Christopher, and they continue to push Lorelai and throw so much shade and negativity in her way. Like, oh yeah, Christopher's such a good business person. Rory, hopefully you'll get your business sense from Chris. Oh, Chris is even a great musician. Oh, I bet you get that from, and it's just like, that's your daughter.
Yeah.
That's your daughter. And, you know, when you treat your daughter like that, she acts as if she didn't have privilege growing up. You're in your parents' mansion and you feel like the mouse.
Yeah.
So it draws this weird dichotomy of your own mind that you think you grew up terribly and wonderfully at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you did have all of your needs taken care of, not emotionally. So that really throws rich people or growing up rich. Yeah. So
they're having martinis, and I'm crossing that off the icons list.
Yes. If you go to GilmoreFriends.com, we have this sweatshirt that has all these different symbols of, if you're a rewatcher like me, you will know all of them, but Carrie's still getting to know those symbols. And so I think it's so much fun. And there's a martini glass on it. So
there is a martini glass. Yeah. I'm also checking off the Pop-Tart.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she mentions it and it's come up before too.
Yes. It's come up a couple times now. So
good.
It's one of their major meals. Yes.
Yes. I just listened to a podcast on Pop-Tarts, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did they bring up Gilmore Girls?
They did not. Or I would have had a freak out because that's a spoiler.
Somebody should get fired. So, okay. What should I call my grandparents? Rory's.
And then suddenly Strobe says, what does he say that gets it started? He starts off.
So here's what's going on.
Because you've seen the scene multiple. It was a fast scene.
It was very fast and a lot happened.
Yeah.
So both grandparents are sitting there, both parents and Rory. Rory actually curtsies when she first meets her new grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's so awkward. Chris says, hey, she gets that from you to Lorelai, which I absolutely believe. They both kind of, don't know what to do with their bodies and minds when they feel awkward.
Yeah.
So they fall or they say something ridiculous. So that's Rory. And I fully get it. I thought that was so funny. And then they sit down to talk, and Strobe kind of starts with, "Oh, you run an inn. Your blue collar job is so bleh."
Oh yeah, and he calls running an inn a blue collar job.
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah. Well, that's how rich he is, and that's how snobby he is. So Lorelai's already feeling it while everyone's pretending that that's not happening. They're just having a civil conversation. But then he pushes more and more throughout the scene. So what Emily and Gilmore are doing are trying to bring it back to civility, I think, and saying, "Oh, Rory's really smart. She's, doing like she's in the top class at a very good school and all this." And they're listing her resume. And Richard ends it with, "Oh yeah, you should have a conversation with Rory. She'll give you a run for your money." And then there's silence, and Rory thinks she's supposed to get out her TED talk.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
In this scene, so this scene was awkward because the adults, the quote unquote adults in the room, the rich Straub and Francine and Emily and Richard, should have better conversation skills.
Yes.
In general, than like, you and Rory should have a conversation, and then sitting in this unbearable silence.
I agree. But in their world, somebody Rory's age will have been, presented to the world with her.
Right. They have a TED Talk. They have a TED Talk planned, and they'd be like, "Well, actually, I'm interested in astrophysics."
Exactly.
And like what, But I also noticed before Francine and Strobe walk in the door, the unbelievably unequal distribution on the couches. Did you notice this?
No, but I love that you noticed these, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Rory, Lorelai, and Chris sit on one couch.
That makes sense.
But Emily's mom sits on the other whole couch. I mean, Lorelai's mom, Emily, sits on the other couch. So there's 4 people and 2 couches, and they go 3 and 1, not 2 and 2.
Well, because then Strobe and Francine will
but
sit.
they hadn't shown up yet.
I do feel like that's the adult table in the room at that moment. Like the adult couch, like the elders are sitting over here.
Sure, but they haven't established that yet. I feel like
I love
2 couches
that bothers you.
2 couches, 4 people, 2 and 2. I mean, you're making it weird. But yes, and then it's explained when Francine and Strobe show up, they fill in those 2 spots. Yes. And I'm like, oh, that's why we had this awkward distribution of couches earlier.
Man, right, you pick up all that kind of stuff. I love it because like you said, I've seen this
because
you know what
times. Else it did? It made Rory look small because she's sitting between her parents.
Maybe that was meant to.
It made Rory look more childlike if she's not sitting up,
that reminds me.
I know we all have to sit, but if she's not sitting on her own at the she's sitting between 2 grown-ups.
Right.
So it makes her look more childlike, more small, and more,
It is a more safe space because those are the people that are, even though Chris is not really around, that's her immediate family.
But she's also more comfortable with her grandparents than she's ever been in her life. I don't know, whatever. It was weird. But I think that like cinematically, it was to make her look more childlike.
I believe that. And I appreciate now I'm going to look at it next time I rewatch because I'm rewatching this show. Anyway. Okay. So, Strobe. He said, so Richard says, Rory can give you a run for your money. There's a pause. And then Strobe says, seems like my money is pretty safe. Now, that is an attack in snobby life. Lorelai picks up on it. And at this point, she's getting jabbed. They're giving praise to Christopher, everybody. And then she's getting jabbed. So that was, I think, her final straw. And Lorelai goes, I hate George Bush. And I was like, ooh.
He's got a small head. Which is so funny.
So that's great. And now it's getting heated, and Lorelai says to Rory, "Get out of the room," which I thought was, the right thing to do because we're fisticuffs is what it comes to.
I wrote down the word fisticuffs. I realized I don't know how to spell fisticuffs. F-I-S.
You know what? I don't know how to spell curtsy, and I wrote Rory curtsied, and I'm like, that is for sure not how you spell curtsy.
Yeah. And I don't know how to spell fisticuffs. I mean, this is an old-timey, like those are two old-timey words that we don't use very often. But
keep giving me excuses.
He grabs him by the lapels.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder like how many rehearsals they had to do to get him to this like angry enough. We, the audience, have to believe he's angry enough to grab another man by his lapels.
Yeah. I mean, but he said about her daughter, because now Richard is now Strobe is directly hurting his daughter. He said you shouldn't take such a haughty tone when you work in a hotel. And here's what's fun about old school women. And when you're a wife, you cannot change the subject unless you do it in the way that these two women had to do. So Strobe's wife, what's her name, Francine, was like, oh, stop it. I have a headache, meaning change the subject.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you that, oh goodness, I have a headache. You should stop hurting me in that way. But I can't say directly like, shut up. And then Strobe keeps going, and Emily says, Richard, lead us to the dining room.
Right.
Now.
Let's
like,
have
what? No one can hear you?
Right. Should be like dinner time.
Yeah.
You know, like you can
Dinner's
always
ready. And they even say it in that tone. And then Francine, as this fight is happening, goes, Christopher, your tie. And it's like, hi, when women have that tone, and bless your hearts, I understand that is the limit of your power in that dynamic that you agreed to and also didn't agree to. I know there's a lot of history here, but that is where they are right now. I know that is where your power lies, but it's so interesting that you can have that tone as if that's talking behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yes. As if everyone else can't hear you.
Yeah. So that's just where,
this is why we had to invent text messaging.
Yeah.
So that we could sneak messages to each other. But yeah, it was so awkward that she's like, Richard, take us to the dining room. Yeah. You're like, bitch, it's your dining room too. Like,
nope, it's not. It is his dining room.
It is his job to be like, shall we adjourn to the dining room? Yeah.
That's right. Meanwhile, Strobe keeps going. He tells Lorelai, you derailed my son's life. Our son was bound for Princeton, as all of the generations that he comes from went to Princeton, all because you seduced him.
Yes.
And then Richard gets up. How dare you come into my house and insult my daughter?
Yeah.
I mean, and then he really grabs him. Chris has to get in the middle of his father and his daughter's grandfather, and actually go, what is going on? And then Strobe says, I'm leaving. Richard says, no, I'm kicking you out.
Yeah, you're not leaving. I'm kicking you out. You can't fire me. I quit.
I mean, I would feel the same way. I might even get up to. I might even hold somebody's lapels too. Again, I'm not prone to physical violence, but do you think we can't hear you? And Strobe was like, oh, we're supposed to have a reunion of like, and pretend nothing's happening. And I say to all of these people, folks, something 16 years ago happened that you don't like. You need to, at this point, have processed it and move forward.
Yeah.
And stop freaking bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because that's your trauma now. It's on you. And whatever Lorelai does with her life now, she's in her 30s. And you either have to move.
I mean,
without
he's a jerk though. Like, it's not even like they have residual like discomfort with it. Like, residual discomfort is one thing, but he's an active asshole. Like, it's
because
bad.
He's still butthurt about what
it's also just plain bad manners, which I feel like is like more.
But he feels like he has the right to bad manners here because she ruined his lineage.
Right.
She ruined
So let's sit through a meal and see what she has to say for herself. You know, like know your enemy. I don't know. It just the rudeness, the
it's unprocessed bull that you should have dealt with that yourself at this point.
Yep.
Yes, that's not where you wanted it to go.
No, these are very repressed people. It's terrible.
Yeah. but Richard and Emily and Chris, they all want to play together and pretend together, and Lorelai is rejecting that, which is very unnerving to these people. So if yes, this thing happened, we didn't want you to get pregnant, not at that time, but if you would have agreed to the rest of our timeline, we would have said, all right, well, at least she's playing ball now. She's making the wrong right. And Chris was up for it and Lorelai wasn't. And that's why Lorelai is the enemy forever. Ugh.
Yeah,
okay.
It's bad. It's bad.
And then it cuts to, or are we still in that anger?
It cuts to, now this is a scene that was like devastating. We cut to Luke and he's sitting outside the diner or standing outside the diner waiting for Lorelai. And of course she's not showing up.
And he knows it's Chris.
And he knows it's Chris. And he's got all the paint out. Mm-hmm. And he's moved all the furniture and covered it with drop cloths and all the stuff. Mm. And she's nowhere to be found. And he has not tried her cell phone, which we know she has. And he has not.
He has. Here's the thing. Like, I know that you're going to point out, and I agree with you. These are flaws. A lot of the shows that we used to watch, a cell phone would have, there was a Seinfeld episode where they just were waiting for everybody to sit down and have a meal in the Chinese restaurant, and they wouldn't seat them until their whole party was here. And a cell phone would have made that episode 5 minutes instead of the 22 minutes that it was. Yeah. So yes, he could have called. I would like to think that somebody like Luke is going, no, I'm not calling this person because we had a deal and the deal is either going to happen or not happen. I'm not going to call and say, you promised.
Yeah, are you coming? Where are you? Yeah. His ego won't let him do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
That's
sorry. You convinced me.
I mean, the other way of looking at it is, hey, this is your friend and she wanted to do this. Did she get into an accident? But also,
this is your friend. She's flaky.
Yeah.
She's a scatterbrained weirdo. Like maybe you call her and you're like, hey, Bish, where are you? But also his ego is like, if I'm not important enough for her to remember it, then I'm not going to stoop as low as reminding her.
He's right. Right.
He's right. No, you convinced me. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But I think in this day and age, you text and you're like, Bish, where are you?
Yeah. Unless you're Luke, who he didn't want this to begin with. He's doing it because, the whole thing. So poor Luke. And then we cut back to grandparents' house and Lorelai goes into her father's study and says, thank you for defending me. And this scene breaks my heart. Richard says, why do you think I did it? And I'm like, oh God, this can't be good.
Yeah.
Lorelai says, because I'm your kid and you were defending me. And he says, a member of my family was being attacked. And Lorelai's like, yeah, and you defended me. And he brings up 16 years ago again. He said, I had to tell my friends. Richard says, did you know your mom didn't get out of bed for a month? And Lorelai says something kind of like, well, why don't you adopt Christopher? You like him so much. And it's like, I get it because now this guy who you just thought came to your daddy rescue, which you felt warm about, and he's turning it into complete ice cold. He said, don't be a martyr. Do you think I love the boy who got my daughter pregnant? Christopher was willing to follow procedure.
Yes. He was going to play by my rules.
And so
he saw the value in that. Yep.
And he said, I didn't defend you. I defended me. You were the one who brought disgrace. You're the reason why I have to defend anything in my life.
Oof.
Yeah.
He couldn't just say you're welcome.
No, he wanted her to know that this does not make me approve. Not in retroactively, not retrospectively.
But they've come so far. Like I felt like Richard was the one who, like, of the two of them, was the warmer.
And he is, and this is the warmer.
I know, this is the warmer. Mm-hmm. But he's, you know what? He's got the adrenaline pumping.
No, they both can. All of these people are not over it, including Chris. You're still in 19 whatever. Like it's you're still so far back while this woman raised an almost grown child.
Yeah.
And you're still on it. Like, she has accomplished nothing since she's got pregnant in your eyes forever. Who can win? Who can win on that? Every time she says, I'm doing this and it's kind of cool that I get to do this, you're like, your little party, your little hotel, your little dude. She runs the whole place and it's a hoity-toity hotel. Like, I don't know. She started off as a maid. Grow some respect, but no, they don't see her like that.
Or even if like your life has gone nowhere, like if you're going to be one of those people who like lives through their children, your daughter's at Chilton, you know, like your daughter does extra credit on Sunday. Like you like put all your eggs in that basket then.
And she tries to, but then they treat Rory really well and they still pick on Lorelai as if she has nothing to do. Because the way that they see it, it's their genes that made Rory.
Right. So anything good that happens is their genes and anything bad that happens is Lorelai messing her up.
Right.
It's terrible.
Even though all of it is your genes,
all of it is everything.
Yeah. So, then, and I like when Lorelai says, I feel 16. And I'm like, well, you're about to act 16, but we'll get to that.
I liked the Emily and Rory kitchen scene.
And that's where we are now. And I think no matter what Gilmore Girl rewatcher you are, there is not anybody who says anything bad about that scene. This scene is where everyone's heart melts.
Yeah.
There's people who are pro Chris, anti Chris, pro Lorelai, like calling her a villain. Like, I've had to defend the Lorelai villain thing online so many times. Well, we
have like
now.
6 more seasons to go. She might become a villain. I don't know.
Here's the thing: when they say she's a villain, they're talking about the stuff that you've already seen. I think, and yes, it can go on. But I've said recently to someone on a Reddit thread, okay, she's a villain, because he said also, I can't believe that she's allowed to be the lead character for a series for that long when she's such a villain. And I go, all right, let's talk about other lead characters that you can compare that are not a villain compared to Lorelai. He brought up Mad Men, what's his face?
Oh, and I haven't even seen Mad Men, and I know that guy's a villain.
It starts off with him cheating on his wife. And
the whole point of really good writing, even if it's true that she's a villain, and I don't think she is so far, but I'm only 15 episodes in.
Villain's a strong word, and they always
you're supposed to write a villain that is also lovable. Like, that doesn't mean that like the protagonist of a series can be good and bad. The point is that you still like them.
Yes, and we thought that Mad Men, what's his face, was very charming, and people are falling for him because he's charming. And I think the same thing is happening with Lorelai. I think villain is a very strong word, and whenever I usually talk it out with people, and we end up with like, yeah, I guess villain is a strong word. I'm like, but that's the word you're using on a flawed human being.
Right. I think that's why I think the debate itself shows that the writing is good. Because we're not writing these 2-dimensional characters. We're writing these 3-dimensional characters that have flaws, and they're good at some things and bad at some other things, and they're complicated like real people. So this is a people study, and it's not. I don't think she's a villain nor what's the opposite of villain. I think she's just they're writing her like a real human being. I think if anything, Rory's a little bit 2-dimensional at this point. You know, like Rory is less dimensional than Lorelai. For sure. Lorelai, less colorful so far. And it might be her age, and it might be the writing, and it might be I don't know. I mean, and we have, again,
but I do believe that the Rorys of the world exist. You know, and maybe she does change. Maybe she doesn't change. And maybe they're 2-dimensional people.
When Rory flips out in the classroom, we're so delighted because I'm like, ooh, Rory got pissed, and like it's exciting because
she's not 2-dimensional. It is.
Right, exactly. So we see more depth to her, you know. But I think the Lorelai character is she's so flawed, but still so likable, you know, like.
And remember that she's in every scene. Yeah. Which means if you don't see anything bad about her, then I'm bored. Like if she doesn't make any bad
and also
decisions,
if you see nothing redeeming in her, why are you watching the show?
Well, I think his girlfriend was making him. I don't know.
All right. But I mean, one of my favorite series, and I hate to always compare everything to this series, but one of my favorite series is Breaking Bad. And that dude is so bad.
So bad.
He's so bad, but his downward spiral is so gradual and so human that like you wake up 3 seasons in and you're like, God, he's the devil. But it happens like, so gradually that you're not really aware of him being the most evil person in the show because he's been our hero. Like he's the protagonist. He's like the main character.
And even his wife's reaction, I was like, wow, bravo writers.
Yeah.
I always believe that I could spoil it for someone. So I try to talk in
just saying like, but
general.
that character is very well written. The writing for that show is so good that you don't even realize that you are cheering for the worst person on the planet.
Right.
You know, and I feel like this show, although they're very different shows, but I think what they have in common is that the writing about the people writing is really good.
Yeah.
And that this is how people are.
Yeah. So like I said, people call everybody in the series gets called out for being hated and being loved. There's love for this person and hate from a different person. But this scene, Emily Gilmore sits Rory down and so gently and so warmly makes her understand that none of this fighting between her grandparents, her parents, the grandparents and the parents is anything to do with her.
Yep.
And I love, she starts with, Strobe is a good man. He's a top lawyer. He's active in his community.
He's an ass.
And he's an ass because she caught herself trying to convince this girl to see something that she just saw not right. Yeah. And for the first time, Emily goes, let me get into reality. He's a big ass, but it has nothing to do with you. And I love this line. Your person and your existence have never been included in that list. And it's like, girl, Emily, is that you? And you just...
No, she's Mama Bear. She's got her Mama Bear claws out and somebody attacked her cub. Yeah. And she didn't like that. Also, I did notice in the scene, suddenly Emily knows her way around a kitchen.
She took stuff out of the refrigerator.
Yeah, but in that episode, she was like, what is refrigerator?
Yeah.
I've never been in my own kitchen because I'm wealthy. And now she knows what a refrigerator is.
Yeah.
Just saying, whatever.
I can't argue that. And then we cut into the balcony. First of all, Lorelai has the nicest kid balcony. That balcony is through her childhood.
That's the childhood bedroom balcony.
Yeah. So she used to go through that balcony and out the window and shimmy down and go out for the night.
So,
and he said, Chris meets her in the balcony. She's crying. And he says, this is the place where they made Rory. He calls it the
Rory elimination.
Lamination. I had to look this up.
Rory elimination?
No, lamination, I think, initial lamination. And it's where something begins. And I might even be saying the word wrong, but I don't know why he used that word. I had to look it up. I know
that was so disgusting.
Yeah.
And gross. And in my head, I was like, oh no, they're not going to have sex. They're not going to kiss. I was afraid they would kiss.
And that's actually when we cut to Luke's diner for a second to see that he's stood up. And that's actually when we cut back to the balcony and they're kissing and making out.
Right. They really, they dig the knife. Oh yeah, they dig that knife. Be like, well, Luke is sitting there all forlorn. She's like getting railed. Okay.
And I wrote, so back to grandparents, Lorelai and Christopher sex ! I
wrote, cause I was screaming it at the screen. And I wrote down what I was screaming, which was no ! And I was like, do not have, but this is the drug, as you said, like you fall back into old patterns and he smiled at her
but think about it. Think about when he smiled, because he's a good drug. He does drug very well because she just got punched.
Right. She's vulnerable. She's really vulnerable. Yep.
And that's when she goes for the drug. She's been resisting the drug. Oh, but my life doesn't go well when I take the drug. It never works out well. So she doesn't take it. And then she's in this horrible place in her mind. That's where you go, you know what? I'm drinking tonight.
Yeah.
And that's him.
Wow.
And so she took the swig, regretted it right away, as you do when you're not supposed to touch certain drugs. You're just like, I did it again. And he starts apologizing. And Lorelai says, don't apologize. It was both of us. And Chris is thrilled to death because he's the drug that now is going to get, he thinks he's in there.
Yep. He's totally validated. There's a reference to 30 minutes. You should have thought of that 30 minutes ago, implying that they were out there 30 minutes.
Get out of here.
No
Get out of here with that. There is no way. First of all, it's winter out. So if your butt's out for more than 5 minutes,
you have frozen.
You're having a quickie, and I'm talking like 5 minutes at best.
That's like saying like airplane bathroom sex takes a half an hour.
No, it's quickie. Half an hour.
It takes 90 seconds.
And even if you don't finish, you're done. You're not. So
she implies they took 30 minutes. I don't even know. I mean, no one comfortable sex lasts 30 minutes. Just saying. I mean, I'm a grown up. I don't.
I think
places to be.
There was always this depiction of like, look, there are some all-nighters or some, longer, like we have some time.
That's a young man's game.
Like, but you're out with your butt in the winter.
On
your parents' balcony.
You're the sandwich of the parents and the daughter.
Your kid's there.
Your parents are there, and you're going to spend 30 minutes?
No, you're not. You know what? Carrie and I were both yelling at the screen. You had 5 minutes tops.
And I think it like 4 of those minutes were like putting back garments. 90 of those seconds were actual.
I'm sorry if you think Carrie and I have bad sex, but like 5 minutes is pretty good on that balcony.
Whatever. So they're like hilariously like putting their clothing back on and like taking, leaves out of their hair and whatever.
Yeah.
If they did take 30 minutes, that's incredibly rude because Rory is sitting there alone with Emily in the kitchen for 30 minutes.
That's what drugs do to you.
Yeah.
I just did a PSA.
Don't do drugs? Is this your don't do drugs?
I definitely don't believe in don't do drugs. I believe in don't do the drugs that make you that way. There are, listen, go to the pharmacy, do the drugs that work well with you, not the ones that you're trying to resist.
That work against your best interests. Yeah, that's a good point. Do any drugs you want, just don't let them work against you.
Yeah, listen, there's some drugs that are prescribed to make you a better person. There's some drugs that you are working out yourself. Okay, but if that's what they're doing to you, that's not your drug.
Right. Pick a different drug.
That's my PSA.
That's your PSA.
Yeah.
And then this is where we put the ad for the drug that you're selling. Whatever it is, you're like, buy my new.
Mine grows in the wild. Come on.
Yeah. So then is that so they scramble back. Then there's a hilarious there's a hilarious cut. It's such a quick scene. It's not even a scene, but the hilarious cut is Rory's in the back seat and they're driving and she's like, where were you guys? And they were like, where? And like just awkwardly explaining that like Rory sat around for half an hour while they were having sex on the balcony. So weird.
Yeah. And then Rory finds schmutz in Lorelai's hair. And she's like, how did it get there? And Lorelai goes, because there was a lot of schmutzing going on. Anyway, nothing to see here. And then she said, let's talk about it. Lorelai, just like Emily explains, it's not about you. Rory said, hey, they were directing their stuff at me. And Lorelai says something like, it's their loss and I have no regrets and your father has no regrets. And Rory says, really? And at that point, your heart melts because no matter what, kids are going to think that they're the wrench in the plan because everyone's, so that was nice. And then Lorelai wakes up in the morning. I forgot a whole thing with Luke. She leaves the house in pajamas. She's waiting for Luke at his diner. And he gets there at like 5:30 in the morning or something.
Yep.
And she says, I'm a rat. I stood you up. We had a date and I stood you up. Luke goes, it wasn't a date. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't, especially not now. And then with this face, Luke says, was it an emergency?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Lorelai says, yeah, because it wasn't an emergency.
I broke and then she realizes that she's tired of being a liar and it's not worth it. And this is her friend. And she's like, no, it wasn't an emergency. And Luke is nothing but understanding. He doesn't even act. I think that almost makes it worse for Lorelai that he doesn't ream her out. Mm-hmm. He's just like disappointed. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, she's reaming herself. She's like, no, I'm a rat. I'm
like the worst. And she's like waiting for him to like get mad. And he's like, I didn't even want to do it anyway. Get out of my way. I'm late, Yes,
exactly. He even says, the only thing he says actually is, was it an emergency? It was someone, because he knows it's Christopher. And I think they keep giving each other signals of like, I'm not ready for you. I'm into you, but I'm hesitant, so they keep sort of like leaning in and then going, yeah, no, you're dangerous for me. You're not there. So, you just feel bad. And then Lorelai goes back home in those pajamas.
Then so now she's back home and coffee is made again. We have to look at this coffee maker to see. We do
have to look because somebody said on our YouTube comments, they said, because you said about a different episode that they wake up and the coffee's already made. Who made the coffee? Somebody said, hey, don't you think that Lorelai would have a coffee machine that just starts at a certain time? And that was a good point.
I don't think she does. I think you commented, we're going to go look at this coffee maker. I tried to look. I couldn't see if it was one that could be. I don't think Lorelai has a self-starting coffee maker. Whatever.
But she says no to coffee.
Which I've never heard of in the morning.
Chris says that means that something's bad. And she's like, you think?
I'm a rat. I'm a jerk. And she starts berating herself. She gives herself the talking to she wishes Luke had given her.
No, but back home, Chris says no coffee. No coffee means there's something wrong. And she starts telling Chris how she really feels. And she's like, she says it was Chernobyl and the Hindenburg one.
Right.
And he basically says, I want to marry you.
Yep.
Oh, Chris, you are such an idiot.
You were such a child.
Uh-huh.
You were such a child. Now, I think that he wants to marry her for her parents' money.
But his parents have money.
Yeah, but they're mad at him.
So what? She's not getting she clearly doesn't have any money. He wants to marry her because he's a child and he sees that will fix all of his emotional problems. Oh, I just have to be with this woman who always, because Lorelai is the good drug for him. Right. Because when he sleeps with Lorelai, he doesn't have any regrets. But also,
he's seen that she has her life together.
He wants that. He's a vampire.
He wants in on this, like, I have my life together.
He wants to suck the goodness out of her and not in a good way.
He's an energy vampire and I think a financial vampire. But based on your reaction, I'm backing off of that.
Am I a little?
You were like, no, that's not it. Spoiler alert, that's not it.
Well, but I think
I think he wants stability, and for a lot of immature men, marriage equals stability.
That's what it is.
And he's craving that. So he's like, marry me. And Lorelai, to her credit, is like, no, you idiot. Like, that's not going to solve it. And like, it wouldn't have solved it when we were 16, and it's not going to solve it now.
And she said, we don't know each other as adults, which I thought was...
I completely agreed, because you don't know yourself. You're a completely different person than you were 16 years ago. I am. You are. Everyone. Time marches on. We're all different people than we were 16 years ago, whether you want to think so or not. What's that?
We have different needs.
Yeah. And different, like, ways of going about doing your life.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't get why not. And she goes, honey, you can't even buy a book. And he says, oh, Rory ratted me out. Again, I want to shove you, Chris. I want to shove.
He's such an idiot.
Dare you?
And she's like, this is a small town. Everybody tells everything. Then she calls him out for don't tell my daughter to lie to me.
Yes.
And you and I were like, yeah. Exactly.
Lorelai said all the right things in this episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lorelai was on point.
Yeah.
But she's like, I begrudgingly I had to pry it out of Rory that this happened, and
that
don't tell my daughter to lie to me.
Position.
Don't put her in that position. Kids of divorce know that this is a terrible position when one parent, especially if you don't hate one parent, both, and one of them says, don't tell your mom, unless it's a surprise party or like a present. If it's a secret, that like, don't use the kid like that.
Yeah,
ever.
It's gross.
Ever.
It's really gross. And that means you were going to continue, Chris, to lie to Lorelai about how your business is doing. So he's like, "Oh no, we can work it out. I'm ready. I'm an adult." She goes, "Okay." Lorelai goes, "All right, Chris, how's your business actually doing?" "Oh, now you don't want to talk about it."
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I was going to tell you once it's doing better." Yes, drug. Keep on talking.
Right. Yeah. Then they have this ridiculous fight about bands, which I don't care about, but it's to demonstrate that they're having the same argument they had 16 years ago.
It's also to demonstrate that when they are together, they are both 16. They revert back to being children. And it's very easy to do in your parents' house. And now you're bringing it here because that's how she can talk to him. That's when he woke up and started like actually, saying anything. And also Metallica is way better than the Offspring.
Yeah.
What the hell is the Offspring?
I'm not even a huge listener of either of those bands, but even I know Metallica is better than the Offspring.
Rocks.
Metallica rocks.
The only thing
I know about Metallica is that they're amazing. And I'm not even a fan. That's all I know, that they're amazing.
I saw them live. They're phenomenal.
Of course. They've been around for 50 years.
Oh my God, their music.
Doing something right.
If you're new to hair, I know they had long hair and they were just get drinking.
Kids, don't do drugs. Just get into Metallica. Don't ride a motorcycle and don't get into the Offspring. What the hell is that?
I don't know. You're comparing the Offspring to Metallica. Lorelai wins that fight, the other fight, all the fights. This is crazy.
So, but this fight demonstrates that they revert back to their childlike selves, and that he has terrible taste in music. And okay, wait. So then I wrote this down because a lot happens in this last scene too.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed. Okay, so he proposes to her. I'm like, what does he want? He wants to be. We talked about that. All right. Then we start wrapping up. He starts getting on his motorcycle.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? He leaves. He doesn't live there.
I know, but I was like, but from our perspective, we've had this dude for an episode. I thought this was going to be.
He lives in California.
I know, but he was there in Stars Hollow for a week and a couple days.
Yeah, that's the longest he's ever been around them, it sounds like.
All right.
I mean, he's got to go back home, even if to only pick up his stuff. And then what? Come back to Stars Hollow? Lorelai doesn't want to marry you. You are trying to connect with Rory. You're going to have to, do something, but you still have to go home.
Yeah.
Also, did he drive his motorcycle from LA to there, now that I think about it?
Berkeley, but yes. Which is insane.
Oh, not LA, right. But California to...
Yeah, he did California to Connecticut, which is over 2,000 miles.
That's 3,000 miles.
That's 3,000 miles. That's right. Yeah. It's 2,000 from here to Santa Fe.
Nice.
That's the one. That's the one I know. But yes, it's 3,000. And and he didn't have to tell anyone what day he'd be back. He just decided to come back the day that Lorelai said she wouldn't marry him.
Well, he's irresponsible, so what does it matter?
Whatever.
He doesn't have a business.
He sucks balls.
Thank you.
Then Lorelai and Rory have this painful conversation on the front lawn where she's like, tell him Metallica, blah, blah, blah. They're whispering this very juvenile, right? This is this throwback to this juvenile,
he's using his kid again. He's
using his kid, but he thinks it's adorable. Tell your mother to reconsider. She whispers it, blah, blah, blah. So stupid. So that goes back and forth. And then he drives off, and we find out that Rory knew that he proposed.
Yeah.
Which means that she heard the whole kitchen conversation, which
that
means
too.
that she overheard that they had sex.
Yeah.
Because Lorelai mentions it while they're having the kitchen talk.
Yeah.
Rory,
I always wonder, like, the child's room is right there. So I don't know how you think you're having a private conversation.
And they're both speaking pretty loudly.
Yeah.
I don't know how they think they're having a private conversation. If Lorelai overheard the marriage proposal, or if Rory overheard the marriage proposal, she definitely overheard her saying, sex with you it was quick, blah, 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 while she's by the coffee maker. Terrible.
Yeah. And then the heartbreaking Rory says, maybe it's different this time. Maybe he will. And Lorelai finally just says, yeah, let's not put the blankets away, because how much is she going to let down her daughter for the father's, for the logic that she has to.
Well, she has to let her have hope. Like she can't say, no, your father's a deadbeat and he's always going to be a deadbeat, because that's talking shit about her father.
And that sucks, because so she has to
say,
have realistic ideas of what a person is.
Yeah, but she has to keep the hope alive and be like, maybe we'll see. It's like when you're not getting your kid the thing for Christmas and you have to be like, we'll see, because you don't want to crush their dreams in that moment, You
can do that. You can say, maybe we'll see. That's worse.
Hoping they forget about it.
How are they going to forget? All right.
I don't know. Kids are stupid. I don't know. This is why I don't have kids. I'd be terrible at it.
Oh, God. And then we go back to Luke's.
And then we're back at Luke's. And guess what, you guys?
Lorelai did a different drug, stayed up all night.
Lorelai did some crack.
She was on
She stayed up.
It's fun.
Painting overnight. And she got the whole place done in one night. I mean, you're supposed to do multiple coats.
That timeline makes no sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's very much a TV timeline of painting, where like they even have time. They depict painting as fun on TV, and you get a little paint on each other, and that's very funny.
She had the TV paint drip under her eye.
Yeah, and it makes us feel like moving is fun and easy, and painting is fun and easy.
Yeah, moving is always hilarious. Painting is always like a little drop of paint under your eye. And so is like camping. Camping is always like a little smudge, Oh, I went camping.
Yeah.
You and I come home from camping just covered in soot.
Disgusting.
Just dirty.
Just gross.
Yeah. I wash my hair and like I see it draining like gray. I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah. I wash my hair twice to get the smell of the fire out.
Yeah.
And it's still not out. My pillow ends up smelling like fire.
Anyway, we are going super long.
I love it. I love it.
Tell us in the comments if you love this, because I'm self-conscious about it and I was told to shut up. So tell me if this is too long.
Who's right? I think if it takes this long, we have to. It's necessary.
And I feel like we got to keep it tight. We're on a schedule.
It's tight, soldier.
It's tight. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Yeah. Do you have any trivia for me?
I do. Season 1, episode 15, Chris returns. It's actually Christopher returns, but anyway. Okay, air date March 1, 2001. My first question is, so the actor playing Andrew, who's the bookshop owner, how did his name is Mike Gandolfi, not Gandolfini, Gandolfi. And how did he get his role on Gilmore Girls?
How did he get his role? He slept with Emily.
No. And P.S. Emily was married during this time.
Okay.
Before Mike Gandolfi played Andrew on Gilmore Girls, he wrote for the show Roseanne.
Oh.
Yeah. And so did the creator of Gilmore Girls, Amy Sherman-Palladino.
So they knew each other. They were writing buddies. Nice.
And there's something like, this guy, Mike Gandolfi, I think it is, he has an Emmy Award, a Peabody Award, a Golden Globe Award, all for his TV writing. Now, I got to say, Roseanne, it switched to the Connors. Roseanne, when it first came out, if you watch even the first episode now, it is so much more lefty than the right angle she took right now, Roseanne herself. She's a Trumper. She's fully red. She started off for the Blue Collar. That was a show that was groundbreaking.
Yes.
And it's interesting where it went.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so true. It was so groundbreaking because it wasn't the Cosbys, the rich family having their well-lit, happy, clean, organized lives. It was like these like working class people.
And it was, I mean, usually working class on TV is still a different coat for every scene. And these people wore the same coat throughout the season. They had like the very, this is a regular house sort of house.
Yeah.
So I love that
It did really
show.
look like a regular house. Whereas like the Cosby Show looked like a set. Like it looked like this is what we're supposed to believe is a house.
Yeah. And there were people who live like that, but usually on TV, even when you're poor, like the Gilmores, you still kind of have a
and like
life.
the friends on Friends are supposed to be broke, and like they're just not. It's just funny.
So yeah, Roseanne. I don't know Anyway. Okay. Next question. So Chris's mom in Gilmore Girls is played by Christine Rose, who also played a mom in the 1990 TV adaptation of which classic 80s movie? Now, I'll give you a hint about this. The daughter's role was recast from Jennifer Grey, who was in the movie version, to Jennifer Aniston, who was in the TV series. And I believe they only had one season. It didn't last very long.
Whoa. Yeah. Jennifer Grey to Jennifer Aniston adapted. It's not Dirty Dancing, is No.
Although she was the mom on, Emily was the mom on Dirty Dancing.
Right. Emily was the mom on Dirty Dancing.
Which I rewatched, not to the end. That movie now makes me a little irked because of the whole, okay, it doesn't matter. I rewatched it, and Emily, Kelly Bishop, she sounded different. So I didn't feel as bad not recognizing her or her voice. So
good. Okay. Good.
So originally it was Jennifer Grey in the role as
in the movie.
Daughter. In the movie.
Not Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something.
Ferris Bueller.
There was a Ferris Bueller's TV show?
It didn't last very long, and Jennifer Aniston was the daughter.
Holy
I didn't even know. I didn't know. I had no idea. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so Ferris Bueller, you got it. Very nice.
I can't believe a Ferris Bueller's TV show didn't make it. The movie is so perfect.
It's classic. I mean, I think, when something blows up that much, they're like, well, what else can we do with this? People love it so much. And sometimes it doesn't, a lot of times.
Have you heard the fan theory of Ferris Bueller?
That Cameron is him, or like
it's Cameron's imagination.
Yes. I tried watching it like that. I don't see it.
I mean, I tried watching it like that. I didn't really see it, but it is fun to watch it from that perspective.
Yeah, I like watching from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But it was better in theory. Question number 3. Who is the person heckling Luke and Dean at the baseball game?
It's not our friend, is it?
That's our boy Kirk.
That's Kirk Gunn? Shut the hell up.
His real last name is Dunn. His character's name is Kirk. Sean Gunn is
Sean
his real
Gunn.
name.
That's Kirk this guy, heckling. I swear to God, this guy's a shapeshifter, and I was looking at that guy. It's amazing.
So for those who don't know, Kirk, of course, is the swan handler, the DSL installer. He was in Cinnamon's Wake as Dosey's market manager. He also was in the cold opening of episode 10. He was being hemmed by Lorelai in the Christmas pageant. Last time we met him was in the last episode, and he bet Dosey that Luke would not spruce the diner, and here he is heckling them. So he really does.
I mean, he is almost every episode. I mean, you almost named 15 things just now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
amazing.
You still don't recognize him.
And I still don't recognize him because he's a shapeshifter and he's a different character every time, and he's never the main character.
And this is one of my favorite things to do, watching it with you, because I'm like, she's got to notice him now. And
you're waiting for me to be like, that's him. Yeah, and I never do it. I never give you satisfaction.
Oh, this is so satisfying.
Maybe I will recognize him and then pretend I don't. just to mess with you. Now that I know, I can't. I don't have the.
I have another question though. Lorelai's wearing pajamas when she shows up at Luke's to apologize for standing him up. Those pajamas have a reference to a character from the same show that she actually is referencing while she's talking to Chris. She says, "My father has probably only hit another man in college wearing boxing gloves and one of those blank Fred blank Golden Gloves pullover sweaters."
Fred Mertz.
Yes. Which is
Ethel's husband in I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy. She was wearing an I Love Lucy pajama
thing.
I
didn't notice her pajama said I Love Lucy. But yeah, Fred Mertz and Ethel. Fred and Ethel Mertz.
And so she says that about Fred Mertz. And Chris goes, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, Lorelai says, "Hello, my pajamas." And then they move on. Her pajamas.
Oh, I Love Lucy.
Eating reference.
I gotcha. I didn't get her pajamas.
Isn't that fun? And I still have one more.
All right.
And this is just a random fact. In this episode, Dean asks what kind of bike Christopher has and says, "Oh, did I already said this?" And then he didn't have a bike. Yes. So I just wanted to make sure that we knew.
And then
Dean said he didn't have a bike.
I happened to clock what kind of bike Dean said he had, which was a 1986 Suzuki.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right.
Whew. Okay. Do we have predictions on this episode?
I mean, I don't think this is the last we're seeing of Christopher. I think he will come back again. I don't see how he couldn't. I think he is going to come back asking for money, but I'm now doubting that based on your reaction. But I think he's a loser. But I think his romp with Lorelai is going to threaten how Luke feels about Lorelai.
Okay.
I think Luke is going to reevaluate his you're too much. You're not reliable. You're not the woman for me. I thought this was something more. You're not even as good a friend as I thought you were.
Ooh, yeah.
Because you didn't even tell me you couldn't make it. You just forgot I existed, which is the worst feeling.
I mean, if you think about it, every one of Lorelai's well, not everyone, but Lorelai's main relationships here are all on a thread. She said no to Chris. She fought with her father and she messed up with Luke. So
yeah,
the next episode,
but she's not even she's not a good friend. So I feel like Luke and Lorelai are going to have it out next episode or soon. They should anyway. And I want more Lane in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't done any, when was the last time we saw Paris or the school friends?
Oh, I guess since the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to see those again.
That's been very parent heavy.
Yeah. But I think Luke is going to lose interest in Lorelai, which will make her like him.
Ooh. Those are Carrie's predictions. She's never seen Gilmore Girls, you guys. Is this fun? Is this fun that she's never seen it? Because
it's not fun for me.
Is the highlight of my week. And if you think that's sad, then sad on you, buddy, because this is phenomenal. And anyone who's with me understands that Gilmore Girls is a lifestyle. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm freaking out. I have never been a fan like this in my life. I'm always a casual fan. So it's taking me by surprise that I need to talk about this so much and so much depth. And so, in fact, between us watching the episode, we have about a half an hour to when we record, and I usually have a snack and I made some coffee and all this stuff. But I also usually harass the boyfriend. What did you think? What did you think of it? And
you need a second podcast.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And sometimes he doesn't have an opinion, but then if I wait long enough, he'll be like, well, Lorelai, this and that. And I'm like, he's having an opinion. But this time he's like, I don't know. And I go, well, what about Luke? He goes, Luke was in it.
Oh, he had to block out Luke's pain because it was too much. That's sort of sweet.
Oh, so I'm sure he likes that I have this podcast because otherwise he's being forced to,
do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know. And I like recording, but sometimes we record one episode a week and sometimes we record two. And it has nothing to do with my work ethic. And like, if I want to do two or one, I just want to watch the goddamn show.
I know.
So if you guys are like, you want to do one or two next week? I'm like, two, because I want to watch more episodes because this is killing me.
I do too. And I don't get to rewatch like a maniac like I normally do. So, thanks to all the people already listening, because I feel like you're the one getting us to the next episode. Like, this means something to you does it mean as much to you as it does to me? Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for liking. Thank you for going to Gilmore Friends.com.
Mash that subscribe button. I did it. I know. We said we wouldn't, but mash that subscribe button.
But thanks to people, like, I love reading the comments. So I love that you guys are commenting, and it's like actual fans that are commenting. New people who are only watching the show because we're doing this podcast. That's fun because they're watching along with you. So that's great. Yeah. So bring it. And
remember, no spoilers in the comments, please, because I do read them.
We got to find a place for spoilers. We got to find one. So yeah.
But check us out on our website, and we'll see you next time.
Every
Tuesday. Good night.